We're back at 8:19, and this morning on today's Friday Whip, Admission Possible. It's that time of year when high school seniors and their parents get whipped into a frenzy applying to college.
And that's why we've gathered together 4 college admission experts from schools around the country for an inside look at the stressful process. We want to begin with Barbara Gill, the Assistant Vice President for Undergraduate Admissions at the University of Maryland. Barbara, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to have you. Everyone's pretty much doing the common application now, right?
Many are, yes.
So same questions, same answers, but the deadlines are different. Let's first talk about something called rolling admission that a lot of colleges and universities do. Exactly what is that, and what should everyone know about it?
Well, the rolling admission process is the most straightforward. Students can apply very early. Their decisions are released very early, and then they have the rest of their senior year to decide where they're interested in going to school.
All right. For kids who really think they've got their eye on a particular institution, a lot of them go for these early options. The first one is early decision. What is that?
Early decision, that probably gets the most attention, although it's used by the least number of schools. For students who have an overwhelmingly first choice institution, early decision works really well. They can apply very early, typically deadlines about now. Decisions are released in the middle of the senior year, but when they're admitted, they're bound to attend that institution.
So you have to drop all the other applications. That's the one you're going. Now there's another one called early action. I get these confused. It's very similar in that you have the comfort of knowing you're going to get into place if you're accepted, right?
You're exactly right. It's very similar to early decision. It's actually the one that we use at the University of Maryland, and so students can apply now, here early, but then they have the rest of their senior year to decide where it is they're interested in enrolling.
And then regular decision, what kind of deadlines are we talking about now? Do they have a little time to get their apps in?
Absolutely. Students do have a little bit more time. Usually the deadlines for regular decision is much later in the senior year, probably in the middle, January and February, and then decisions are released later in the spring.
All right, Barbara Gill, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Now
Pleasure.
let's switch over to Natalie.
Lester, thank you. Now, of course, filling out the application is a process in and of itself, and Ted Spencer is the Associate Vice Provost and Executive Director of Undergraduate Admissions for the University of Michigan. Ted, good morning.
Good morning.
So I know that surveys break down the application process, and they rank in order of importance. First, the transcript, class rank.
That's right.
So basically, you're looking for honors courses here, too.
Well,
right?
We're looking at the transcript to find out a lot of information about the students. We're trying to predict success on a college campus. So we're looking for rigorous courses. We're looking for how well the student challenged the curriculum and the trends, whether the trends were up or downwards. And you're right, honors courses and AP courses are important, an important predictor for success in college.
All right, now standardized tests, still the number one way for schools to measure a student here?
I would probably disagree with that. I would say today, in a more holistic review process, the tests in combination with the grade point average and the rigorous kinds of academic courses, I think together they give us a better prediction. They're still important, but they're not the most important.
The essay is very important because admissions officers are really reading them through.
We really are, and the essay gives us an idea about the student, who they are, and we want to hear their voices. We want to know if they've overcome obstacles. We want to know things about them that make them special and that will make them stand out. Okay. So that's why the essay is important.
All right, and can you tell if somebody else is writing the essay?
Well, we like to think we can.
If the parents are helping you?
No, we like to think we can. If for example, we see a very strong test score and a writing that is not sort of in the same sort of vein, or if we see that the student hadn't been involved in the newspaper or the yearbook staff, and there are these inconsistencies, we look at see if things are out of sort. Okay. And if they're out of sort, we can generally determine who wrote it.
Ted Spencer, thank you very much. And for more, here's Al.
All right, Natalie, thank you. If the application process is stressful, entrance exams take the pressure to a whole new level. Bruce Pock is Vice President and Dean of Admissions at Pomona College in Claremont, California. Bruce, good to see you.
Good morning.
So when I was coming up, it was the SAT. Actually, it was written in stone. But now the ACT is there. Now, what's the difference between the two? And are students choosing the school depending on which test they like?
Well, they shouldn't choose the school depending upon which test they like, because pretty much every school in the United States will take either and treat them equally. The ACT had its history mostly in the Midwest, but almost exactly equal numbers of students across the country are taking SAT or ACT.
Is there any one advantage? Does one have the one advantage over the other?
There actually is no advantage, and I think the colleges are zeroing in on percentile scores, not raw scores. There is some myth out there that one is easier than the other, but there's just no reality.
Now, what about test submission? Is it best to take both tests and then see which one you do better at and send that one in?
Well, no. I think that there's probably test addiction developing in the United States at this point. Students just keep taking and taking and taking them. And I've seen increasing numbers numbers of students take multiple ACT, multiple SAT, and then send them all. They can do one or the other.
And then there are, and this would be my dream school, test optional?
There are test optional schools. Pomona College is not one of them. But there are about 800 schools in the country which will make that optional. But got to be careful that optional is really optional, because if you send it in, it will likely be considered as part of the application process.
All right, Bruce Bach, thank you so much. And
Thank
now,
you.
last but not least, Amy.
All right, Al, thank you. Overall, what can you do to help your child stand out from the pack? Arlene Cash is the Vice President for Enrollment Management at Spelman College in Atlanta. Good morning, Arlene.
Good morning.
So if your child has his or her heart set on a specific college, what is your best advice to getting in?
A lot of kids miss this. Pay attention to the mission of the college. Make sure that you know exactly the kind of student they're looking for and address every aspect of the application to that mission. Also, find someone on campus. Have an advocate, preferably a faculty member, someone who really knows the college and knows you.
Does it help to apply early?
Not really. What helps actually is if a student wants to go to that school and the school knows it. So if you apply early, you have a lot of questions, you're calling in. As long as they know you really will come if you're accepted.
How do you make your application? I mean, there are so many that just flood these schools. Stand out from the rest.
Be great. Find that thing which is great about you. Every student can't send 1,000 sneakers to Somalia, but you can send one pair of sneakers to a needy family and inspire the rest of your school, your church, your community. Be great in your one thing and show them.
Are there any advantages to applying in-state versus out-of-state? What's your advice?
It depends on the school and it depends on the college. I would really go to the admissions counselor. There's a college or a university for someone, everyone, somewhere. I say find that college, make a great fit, and make it work.
Arlene Cash, great advice.
Thank
you
you
so much. And our panel is sticking to answer your emails, so get those questions into our website, todayshow.com.